The first toxic pattern you need to understand is love bombing followed by intermittent reinforcement. This pattern begins with intense affection and attention. Your partner showers you with compliments, makes grand gestures, and acts like you're the only person in the world. But here's where it becomes problematic. This extreme attentiveness is quickly followed by withdrawal, criticism, or neglect. The cycle repeats. Moments of overwhelming affection mixed with periods of coldness. Your brain becomes addicted to the highs, making you willing to tolerate the lows. Neuroscience shows us that intermittent rewards actually create stronger behavioral patterns than consistent ones. You keep hopping for that initial rush of affection to return, which keeps you emotionally invested despite the instability. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where your partner makes you question your own reality. They deny things that happened, tell you that you're overreacting, or insist that your memory is faulty. When you say you were promised something, they respond with "I never said that." You're being crazy. The insidious part is that you start doubting yourself. You begin second-guessing your memories and perceptions. Over time, you lose confidence in your own judgment and become emotionally dependent on your partner to validate your experiences. This keeps you trapped because you can no longer trust your own mind to recognize problems in the relationship. Codependency is when your sense of self-worth becomes entirely dependent on another person's approval. You find yourself constantly adjusting your needs to accommodate your partner. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You take responsibility for their emotions and behaviors. The pattern usually looks like this. Your partner has a bad day, and you feel personally responsible for fixing their mood. They're angry, and you search frantically for what you did wrong. Your own needs become invisible as you prioritize their happiness above your own mental health. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where you're essentially responsible for managing another adult's emotional well-being. Triangulation occurs when your partner involves a third person to create jealousy, insecurity, or competition. They might frequently mention an ex, constantly text someone else, or compare you unfavorably to others. The goal is to destabilize you and make you feel like you're not enough. By creating this three-person dynamic, your partner maintains control. You're now competing for their attention instead of addressing the actual problems in your relationship. Your focus shifts away from their problematic behavior and onto proving yourself worthy of their love. Stonewalling is when someone completely shuts down communication to punish or control you. Your partner refuses to engage in conversations, gives one-word answers, or simply ignores you for hours or days. This is weaponized silence. The impact is profound because humans are social creatures. We're biologically wired to need connection. When someone uses silence as a tool to control, it activates your nervous system's stress response. You become desperate to fix things, to get them to talk to you again. This desperation gives them enormous power over the relationship. Narcissistic patterns in relationships are characterized by a fundamental lack of empathy. Your partner dismisses your feelings, doesn't apologize for hurting you, and makes everything about themselves. When you're upset, they become defensive. When you need support, they turn it into being about their needs. These individuals often have an inflated sense of entitlement. They believe they're special and only you can understand them, but they're simultaneously contemptuous of you. They need constant validation and admiration, and if you don't provide it, they devalue you. The relationship becomes a tool for their ego rather than a genuine partnership. The final pattern we're covering is isolation mixed with control. Your partner gradually limits your contact with friends and family. They criticize your loved ones or create conflict when you try to spend time with them. They monitor your phone, control your finances, or dictate what you can and cannot do. This isolation is calculated. By removing your support network, you have nowhere to turn when you recognize the relationship is unhealthy. You lose perspective because you're only hearing your partner's narrative about reality. This is one of the most dangerous patterns because it removes your escape routes. The common thread through all these patterns is control disguised as love. Each one erodes your sense of self until you can't distinguish between what you want and what your partner wants. If you recognize these patterns in your own relationship, that awareness is the first step. You deserve a relationship built on genuine trust, respect, and reciprocal care.